Afternoon world, welcome to Saturday 9th of July and day 5 of COVID-19. Okay, so update of progress on haymaking. Phil cut the 2 pieces of grass over at the other farm yesterday and he's going to turn them for me today. I'm still under the weather, shall we say. I did my blood oxygen saturation levels this morning and they've gone down another 3 points. So basically, on the wife's orders, you're not doing that much today, you're going to take it easy. So, and I'm kind of inclined to agree with her. It's day 5. I think I'm over the peak of this infection. I think the worst is behind me, but I still got the I wouldn't call it complete lethargy, but I just don't have much energy. It's very, very hot. I feel very sweaty. The sore throat is going, the headache is more or less gone, but I've still got lead in my arms and in my shoes, if that makes sense. So, yeah, we're going to let, I know it's going to cost, but at the end of the day, to spin the hay I got here today and that down there tomorrow, the travelling backwards and forwards, I just think it was asking a lot, considering that I'm not well. I don't usually like admitting that I'm not well, but I am going to kind of, going by the experience of others and friends who have had this and then gone back to work and overdone it, Richard, I know that it can come back and bite you in the bum, and I just don't want that. I need to get over this. So for the sake of possibly a couple of £100, if it's going to help me on my recovery, then that's what I'm going to do. So we were going to be baling today. That was the original idea, bale today. But the contractor Dave, who's doing the baling for me here, said, I think he lent somebody his rake yesterday and they broke it. He has repaired it, but it's putting back quite a few hours. So he said, could he bale ours tomorrow? I said, that's fine. He's doing a lot of conventional baling, which is small square bales for others tomorrow as well. And I've asked him to do us 100 bales here. What I was thinking of is if we have 100 small bales of the paddock hay down there, because it's nice soft hay, sheep are like that, Abby can have that. So she can have 100 bales of small bale hay, then she's got her own little pile to work from. It's stuff that she can handle herself, she can put it in her hay rack. If they want to take some flaps out and give it to animals in a pen or something, it's just going to make life much easier for her with the sheep. And it means she's not taking stuff from my big round bales out of the feeders, which was, to be honest, it was hard work. So yeah, we'll help daughter out. I'm going to let her offer to pay for the baling for the square bales if she wants to. We'll watch that space. She might let me pay for it because, you know, of her generous nature. I don't mind. But so we're going to just give our grass, it doesn't really need it, but we're going to give it one last just gentle turn. The grass down there, the grass on pigeon mead, one more gentle turn. It's something that I can do quietly in the tractor for a couple of hours with the aircon on and the radio on. It's not really hard work, and I think I'm more than capable of doing that. So that's what we're going to do. So less talking, more getting on with it. So all the cattle are up in the barn this afternoon, and there's a reason for that. And the main reason is we're running out of food, grazing. So they've pretty much grazed the avenue. They've taken all the nice stuff. They're still grazing on the golf course, but what's left out there is coarser, and they're not really that, well, we'll eat it if we have to, but we'd rather not. So they were up yesterday mooing at me going, well, can we have some of that? So I've given them some of that. That's still, we're on last year's hay. So I've given them a little bit of last year's hay and they seem quite content to be in there. That suits me to have the cattle in and out of the shed because we've got a steer going to slaughter not long now. Can't remember the day. August the 6th, so that. So we're going to have some beef packs available for the first week or last week of August, first week of September. I think we've already sold 5 packs and it's quite likely by the time this video comes out the other ones might be sold as well. But if you haven't ordered one and you do want one for around about beginning of September, let me know. I can remember in the days when I was younger going, I'm an aircon. Don't need aircon, you big wuss. What do you want aircon for? I'll tell you what, if this tractor didn't have it, I wouldn't be in here. So it's a yin and yang thing with the weather. We've got no grass because we've had no rain. We had no rain in April. We had a bit in May, not a lot, 15, 16 mil I think in May. And in June, we didn't have any much more than that. And so far in July, more or less none, maybe a few mil. And we've still got another couple of, well, at least another week in front of us of dry again. So grass isn't going to come. Just as well I got a bit of feed left over from last year. We're going to need it. Mrs. P's going to open the gate for me. She's out here walking the dogs. Mind Crumble. Don't stand in the way. Don't stand in the way. Thank you, Mrs. P. Probably doesn't need it, but as we're putting a lot of it into small squares, we'll just be on the safe side, especially in the headlands. There you go. I thought he was a bit hesitant then, but he wasn't in second, he was in fourth. Somebody enjoyed a wood pigeon supper there last night. Do you know what? I'll do it in the shade. I think I might just reset the machine and put it back into rows. Do you remember how to do that? Show you. There you go, easy as that. Five, 6. That'll do. Okay. Let's try that again. What are you doing behind there? Oh, put it in neutral, didn't I? Easy to turn it in neutral. It's also safer. So instead of scattering it everywhere now, it's going to kind of put it a bit more into like 2 rows. That's just keeps it up off the ground a bit more, lets the air get underneath it, also helps the sun get to the ground itself, so dries everything out. So like I say, this is probably dry enough to go into bales already, but we'll just fluff it up, just make sure. So lots of suggestions on what tractors I should be looking at. Since I put up, should I change this chap? And I'll repeat what I said in the beginning of that video. If I was only farming here, if I was only doing work here, I wouldn't even consider changing this tractor. This thing, for this farm, does everything I need and is probably more than capable of doing more than I need here. The problem I have is the travel between the 2 farms. I know somebody said, oh, I want a 50k box. Yeah, 50k box is a nice idea. I mean, I like the idea of being able to travel a bit faster, because that means you've definitely got suspension on the front of the tractor, but there is also talk about over 40k box tractors having to go through like an annual MOT test, which is another expense, and I can't imagine it being cheap. I mean, for the tractor dealers and stuff like that, it'd probably be great, because folks will say, well, we'll do the annual service of the tractor then, you know, we'll do the service and the MOT on your tractor, and it's a good way to keep the workshop mechanics nice and busy, you know, and the parts department busy, and the bank manager happy. But for small folks like me, it is another expense, and I don't think my mobile fitter will be able to do the MOT. I don't know how you would test the brakes. I mean, the way we tested the brakes at in my college days was just jump on them and see which wheel locked up first. But of course, this fella, as soon as you hit the brakes, he automatically goes into 4-wheel drive and should stop on all 4 anyway. But so I don't know. Yeah, 50k box would be nice for the travel, but I don't know. We'll have to see what comes up. So my local dealers are TH Whites, which are New Holland, up at Knockdown, which is about 10 miles that way. Massey Ferguson we'll be down at Elberton, which is about 10-12 miles that way, and Case is well, so it's the furthest one away actually. Case, they're probably best part of 25 miles away, so they're the furthest away. Although I have a little bit of brand loyalty, because obviously I've got Case now, the upside is one of the fitters for CFM, or is it green just there, only lives just down the road. Brings his van home at night and stuff like that, so they could send him out to me fairly short notice. There's pros and cons for all the marks, and as to which one is best, well, like I said to those that have messaged me and I've had a chat with, it all depends on the deal. I mean, this isn't a done thing. I'm not definitely buying a tractor. I'm thinking about buying a tractor. There's good reasons for me to change this. There's also equally good reasons for me not to change this. I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with this tractor. It's 18 years old. It's done 3,798 hours. It's quite likely if the next person who has this, if it's sold on again, will have another 18 years of good service out of it. There's no reason why not. I mean, we've kept it serviced. Next service is due at 4,200 hours. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. but I want a bit more power, and I would like a bit more comfort. So I'm looking at something with preferably front suspension, cab suspension, and more go. So whether that's going to be new, the reason I'm looking at new is usually the financial deal on a new tractor is more attractive than on a used tractor, as in the interest rates available on new is usually less, a lot less than if I buy second hand. And you have to work out what your monthly costs are, plus your servicing intervals and everything else. So the modern trucks have longer service intervals. There's so many things to look at, you know, new tractor, new tyres, second hand tractor, used tyres. It's just all these things have to be thrown into the mixing pot, and a decision has to be made as to, you know, which ingredients we use in the end and what we actually want to make. I hope that makes some sense to you. It made sense when I was saying it. Now I think back at it, it goes, what? But, so yeah, I mean, that is the plan. I'm in no desperate rush. I don't think, even if I made a decision today, if I went with a new tractor, I don't think I'd get it before end of haymaking season anyway. And once haymaking is done this year, that's all the long arrow work kind of done, unless I do some of my own cultivation. If we do reseed pigeon mead, then, you know, if I've got a bigger tractor, there are various folks around with bits of kit that are a bit big for this fellow, as in cultivation discs and chisel harrows and stuff like that. A bit big for this fellow, although I think this would do it. Might bark a bit, but 140 horsepower tractors like that would manage, you know, much easier. Let's set the height up a little bit more than that. So there you go. It'd be nice to do some of my own bits and bobs rather than relying on contractors for everything, simply because the contractors will have the same fixed costs of me, which would be the fuel, the insurances, the servicing, stuff like that. But it's the wages and the profit. That's the difference. So if I buy my own and I can do it myself, I don't have to pay me wages, and the profit comes in the beef later on. So yeah, that's where the saving is. Is it a big enough saving? Well, probably not. But if I'm doing something I enjoy, I mean, you guys, a lot of you folks out there will have hobbies that cost you money, whether it's motorbikes or sailing or holidays or whatever else. You spend your money on your holidays, and that's how you want to do it. There's plenty of folks who consider me nothing more than a hobby farmer anyway. So if my hobby is the farm, why shouldn't I have some nice tools to do it with? You know, just saying. So far I've seen 2 little patches of green. Nothing that I would consider even faintly worrying if I was going to bale this now. But I'm going to still continue doing this because, well, because I want to. Right, that's the playground done. Pick up a tea, that's a pigeon mead, spin that, and then we're done. I picked up a sneaky little plant on the way. He's going in the incinerator. That's it. Tea drunk, GoPro battery changed, field number 2. I gotta say, I do feel better for being out and about and doing stuff. I know family want me to sit in the house and do nothing, but that's not really what I want to do right now. I got stuff shouting at me to be done, so Once I got all that done, then I'll go and sit on my ass. And to be honest, I don't actually reckon I'm that poorly. Yeah, I've got it and I've had it and whatever else, and I've had a couple of rough days, but I reckon I'm pretty much on the mend now, so I'm just gonna be sensible about it. But yeah. Do you know what? I reckon I've had colds that are worse than this. Biscuit's down there. She likes to sit close to the aircon. I don't blame her, because I do too. So, as per normal, as grass dry, when you cut it down, originally or initially, it looks like, oh yeah, you've got a fair bit of grass out there, but the more you split it, the more you dry it, the thinner it gets. So, I thought I might get 20 off of here, off Pigeon Mead. I think I'll be happy to get 15 out of here now. So I reckon I'll get more out of the little paddock we're going into first for the area than I will out of the main field. So, but that is why we're looking at possibly spraying this off in a few weeks' time once it recovers. Spray it off, kill everything, work the ground, reseed it. I think that's the plan. That's it, we're done. Just got to get out of this field without getting run over now. It's 5:45, so timed that about right. In the house, upload tonight's video, put my feet up. Cattle are demolishing that bale. I don't think I'm the only person who's supplementary feeding in the summer. It's not something you really want to be doing, but no rain is no grass. Am I a bit tight on that? Yeah. Anyway, that's it, folks. Thanks for joining us, and I will see you tomorrow.